Good evening, my fellow wealth creators, entrepreneurs, side hustlers, and South Africans, or Southern Africans, or Americans that's joined me on this live stream, the first one for Weide-Market this year. The topic or title of this live stream: Start doing something for yourself. I am excited about this, and I'm very happy that this is happening this evening. I've been working hard towards this, and I hope that everybody find value from this. The title, Start Doing Something for Yourself, is advice I received from a millionaire landlord of mine a couple of years ago. We were having a discussion about where I work and what I do for a living, and I actually enjoy what I'm doing. And what he went on to say is that no matter how happy you are with what you do and how excited you are about your prospects at your career where you are right now, you need to start doing something for yourself. So he started telling me about when he was younger and walked from door to door to start a business after hours. This inspired me so much, but it took me a while to get to this point where I'm actually have my own side hustle. So I'm very excited to share this with you this evening. So who am I? As you can see in the bottom of the screen, my name is Yuri Weideman. I am the founder and wealth coach or chief wealth coach at Weide-Market. And a little bit of my background, my career started, actually I was born in Pretoria, grew up in the East Rand, and my career started when I joined the Navy in 1998. Yeah, so I had some good times there, and I learned early on that doing just your job is not good enough. And I saw a post the other day on Instagram that said, if you only rely on one income, you're one step away from being broke. Because the moment something happens to that income, you don't have income. So I want to encourage everybody on this video to start doing something for yourself, start learning how to generate extra income beyond what your current income is, whether it be a small business, whether you be a sole proprietor or you own your own small business, or if you work for an employee or employers, excuse me. And no matter how good your income is, you need to be able to generate more than one income. By the way, feel free to say how's it in the comments on the side. I'd like to hear from you. Let me know what you are concerned about. Let me know where you're from. I'd love to shout out your name on this video. By the way, welcome to the Frugal Rhino. Go check him out. He does some good work for rhinos and other things in South Africa as well. Yeah, definitely the last 2 years have definitely been an eye-opener that we cannot rely on our sole income from our employers. So this is the first episode for this podcast, if you want to call it that, titled "Start Doing Something for Yourself." And this evening, I want to take a look at taking ownership of your own choices, your own habits, your own results. And if you look at the results that you have in your life today, I think we all need to realize that these results are because of choices we've made in the past. And if we keep on blaming someone else, we will always be getting the same results. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Said another way, Albert Einstein used to say that you cannot solve a problem with the same methods that created the problem. So if you want to make a difference in your life, you need to start doing different things. And for me, that was selling my house that I enjoyed living in to be able to take control of my debt and take control of my cash flow and start paying off debt. Now, Not all debt is bad debt, but if you were in the kind of debt I was in, it's definitely something that you need to take care of. Make sure that you get rid of consumer debt. In other words, personal loans, credit cards that don't add value, because what you want to do is build assets. So take ownership of your choices, take ownership of your habits, and then take ownership of your results. I want to play a short clip for you guys quickly. And many of you might have probably seen this in the past. It's Mel Robbins, and she says the following.
The bottom line is, no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you.
So it's up to you. Take ownership. Take ownership of your life. Take ownership of your choices, and take ownership of your results. What we'll be looking at during the rest of the stream are things like, how do you take ownership? How do you start? What do you look at? Where do you begin? What are the things that you should be doing? What is your passion? What is your purpose? How do you find that? So I've got a couple of things lined up, and I hope that you guys enjoy this. Once again, if you come onto the stream, please drop a comment so I can say how's it, and tell me where you're from, what you're currently doing, and let's have a chat. I want to share as much information on this live stream as I possibly can, but also I cannot talk the whole time, but I get thirsty. So if you guys want to leave a comment in the comment section, please do so, and ask questions if there's something. Stop me if there's something you want to ask. If I can't answer you, I'll cover it in the next live stream. I plan to do this live stream every 2 weeks or so. So subscribe, hit the like on this video if you don't mind. It takes a lot of effort and courage, to be honest, to get on here and speak. So please, hello, my mom's online. Yay! Hello, Mom. Thanks for the support. Hit the like button on this video so that YouTube will be able to share it to other people, and let's share this message to as many people as we possibly can. I'll appreciate that a lot. Thanks a lot. And Mom, thank you. I love you. Thanks for coming on. So getting back to the topic of this evening, extreme ownership. Taking ownership of your results, taking ownership of your choices, and taking ownership of your habits. I read this book recently, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Barben, where they take the principles they learned at the battlefield. They were Navy SEALs in Iraq, by the way, where they take these leadership skills and ownership skills that they learned in the battlefield and bring this into the business world, where they say that everything that happens as a leader, everything that happens in your team is your responsibility. Now, that seems a little bit extreme if you don't understand the principles that they teach in the Extreme Ownership book. So I suggest you go check it out. But the point was well illustrated in this video I saw of another guy on Instagram called Brad Lee, where he was asked the question, what would you do if you don't have any money? If you run out of money completely? And he thought about it a bit, and he said, well, I would stop drinking. I would stop sleeping in. I would stop going to bed early. I would stop going to parties. I would stop socializing. Because if I don't have any money, then it's my fault. I'm doing something wrong. So put away all the luxuries in my life so that I can focus on figuring out what it is that I'm doing wrong, and speak to people. Go find out from people what are their problems, and then find solutions. Help people solve their problems. And once you start solving people's problems, they will start paying you. So there's one of my favorite movies as a child was Robots, where Mr. Big Man says that see a need, fill a need. And the more you do that, the more problems you solve, the more you will be able to get people to pay you. So it is vitally important to take ownership of where you are right now, because the fact is, if you don't take ownership, you will never be able to change the results. So once you start taking ownership of the results, then you can make the changes and start applying different principles and different methods and different mindset to be able to get to the point where you start changing your results. So start doing something. How do you start doing something? Once you've taken control of where you are, you've looked at your finances, you've looked at your habits, you've looked at the things you spend money on, the things you spend your time on, the things you do that causes unhealth or unhealthy habits in your life, and the way you spend your time. And really, where you spend your time and where you spend your money is a good measure of what is really important to you. So where you spend your money, where you spend your time, assess those things, analyze those things, and then you'll be able to catch on and see what are the things that really are important to you. And that way you'll be able to assess where you are and what your actual results are. And here, obviously, you need to be brutally honest with yourself. There's no point sugarcoating it. There's no point trying to hide it under a mattress or whatever. You really need to take control of your results. And the way you do that is to be honest with yourself, brutally honest. So one of the next things I want to look at is, once you've done this, where do you start? How do you start doing something for yourself? You have family to take care of. You have bills to pay. You have work to do, deadlines to reach, maintenance at your house to do, and all of these kind of things. But the fact remains, there are opportunities right now in South Africa that we are not taking charge of, what we are not taking hold of. There are opportunities in Africa that we'd love to take control of, but we don't know about them, or we don't know how to take part in those opportunities. I truly believe that Africa has a very strong entrepreneurial spirit. That thing about make a plan, just make it work. We are very good at that as a nation. And I'm not talking about a specific ethnic group. I really believe, and truly in my core believe, that South Africa, and I suppose the rest of Africa as well, has a very strong entrepreneurial and problem-solving spirit. I see there are more people joining. Guys, please say how's it in the comments. I'd love to say how's it live on this video, and I'd love to shout out your name and see who is online. Also tell me where you are from, and I'd like to hear more about you in that regard. So opportunities, there are opportunities. And the reason I know this is I keep on meeting more and more people coming here from other countries like Canada, where everything works perfectly. There's no problem. You can go live comfortably in Africa, in Canada, I mean, in America, in Australia, in the UK. But when I talk to these guys that I meet and ask them, what are you doing in Africa if you come from a country where everything works? And then they say that's exactly the point. They come here because in countries where everything works, there are very few opportunities to start a new business. So if you have an entrepreneur mindset, you have an entrepreneur spirit, you want to solve problems, you want to try new things, you cannot do that in a country where everything works, where all the systems are in place and all the systems work. Everything works like clockwork. That is why people come to South Africa. And not only people, not only entrepreneurs, but countries are interested in Africa. China, the UK, France, the US, they're all interested in Africa because we have the minerals, we have the resources, we have 2/3 of the world's gold. We have 70% of the world's platinum in Africa. And those things present opportunities. We have sunshine galore. We have a coastal line of something like 3,000 kilometers or more. We've got one of the biggest coastlines in Africa. And that is something we need to take charge of and stop giving our resources to people that are not living and that are not born and bred in Africa. So moving on to passion and purpose. These things are often used interchangeably, but they are completely different concepts. Purpose is the reason why you are on earth, the reason why you were born, while passion is something that can change on a regular basis depending on your circumstances, the things you like doing, the things you are good at, and so on. I want to talk a little bit more about that when I talk about IKIGAI and genuine wealth a little bit later. So Frugal Rhino, thanks for your comment. If only we can get some of those bigger foreign nations to stop exploiting us for our resources, but rather work with us. Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. That is a big thing. But I think the responsibility, once again, comes back to us to take ownership of our continent and stop, excuse my language, mom, stop spreading our legs and laying on our backs and just taking it. We need to take charge of our own resources and stop exporting it and then importing the finished goods. We should start manufacturing here in South Africa and on this continent in Africa. We should increase our manufacturing capabilities so that we can export finished goods with the resources that we get in our own continent. So definitely we have to stop inviting other nations to come here, because it's not just them coming here to exploit us. We are inviting them here to come here because we want foreign direct investment. And although foreign direct investment is a good thing, we need to take charge of what happens to that money. And once again, taking responsibility of our own resources. And that includes the people. We have the capability, we have the know-how, we have the resources in Africa to make it a booming economy, but we need to take ownership. And that brings me back to what we need to start doing, is we need to start taking action. And oftentimes we hold ourselves back and say, but we don't know how. You don't learn how by sitting on your couch or sitting in your office. You learn how by doing. We learn by doing. We don't learn by writing down goals and dreams. We learn by doing. How do we find our purpose and our passion? And that comes back to, we need to start doing. How do we start doing? Start trying whatever is available for you to do. My mom would be proud of me for saying this, but she always taught us, do what your hands find to do. And that way you can learn what you enjoy. And that brings me to the story of the ice cream shop. So let's say it's a hot summer's day. You're out there on a hot summer's day and you walk past an ice cream shop. Excuse me. The ice cream shop has, let's say, 1,000 different flavors. How do you find your favorite? Think about that for a second. You find your favorite by tasting the different flavors. You find your favorite by going into the shop and tasting as many of them as you possibly can without getting sick, of course. And that is how you find your purpose. That is how you find your favorite ice cream. You find your purpose and your passion in the same way, by trying different things. And that brings me to the next concept I want to share, and that is Ikigai. Ikigai, on screen now, is the concept of the reason for being, your reason for being. What is your reason for being? Your reason for being is determined by many things. So on screen, you can obviously see that there are things that you need to be looking at. So the first thing is, what do you love? And where the circles of what you love and what you are good at intersect, that is where your passion lies. Then the next circle, what can you get paid for? And where what you are good at and what you get paid for intersects, that is your profession. Then what does the world need? And where what you can get paid for and what the world needs intersects, that is your vocation. In other words, where do you find a sense of belonging, and how do you that's where you're excited to do what you're doing. And then where what you love and what the world needs intersects is your mission. That is your purpose, your reason for being, or all of these things combined. So Ikigai, the Japanese meaning, or rather loosely translated to a reason for being, is a combination of what you love, what you are good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. All of these things combined, if you figure out all of these things and you balance all of these things, then you can find your Ikigai, your reason for being. And this brings me to another concept that I want to share. And I talk a lot about that on my channel, and that is the concept of genuine wealth. And genuine wealth is made up, obviously, of the abundance of finances, but also the abundance of quality relationships. The quality relationships also has an effect on your health, and their health, your physical, mental, spiritual health, also comes to play on where you spend your time. So like I was saying earlier, is your time and your finances give you a good indication of what is really important to you. So if someone would want to measure what is important to you, the words you speak is not a good measure. What you spend your money on and what you spend your time on, those are the things that are really important to you. So what do you do next? So you've got your Ikigai, or you want to figure out your Ikigai, your reason for being, and you want to use that purpose to live a healthy life. And I want to play that clip for you guys quickly again. If you see right in the center of all of these, the abundance of finances, the abundance of quality relationships, the abundance of health, and the abundance of time, you have purpose. So if you anchor all of these things with your purpose, then every decision you make, every action you take, everything you do is anchored on to your purpose. That way, everything moves you closer to where you want to be, to where your life's purpose is. And that is why it is so many people talk about enjoying the journey. Because if you really live out your purpose, and I don't mean your passion, your goal, your dreams, I mean your purpose, your dreams, your passion, your actions, your choices, the words you speak, the things you do, the habits you develop, all of those things need to be anchored onto your purpose. So if everything is anchored onto your purpose, then it becomes easy to enjoy the journey, because everything is tied and anchored into your purpose. I have my own purpose, and your purpose is personal to you. No one can tell you what your purpose is. You need to figure out what your purpose is. So once you've figured out all of these things, you figured out your Ikigai, you figured out your purpose and how your life revolves around your purpose, and now everything, action, every choice, and every habit ties into your purpose. What do you do next? So, what do you do next? Well, you need a goal. You need to tie that goal to your purpose, but you need one, maybe two or three goals. Because what I've also recently realized is we tend to set too many goals. If we can set one or two goals, or maybe three goals at max, and focus on those things alone, then we can progress so much faster on those three things. Instead of trying to do everything for everyone, we can focus on three things that bring us closer to living our purpose. By the way, I see some more people joining the live stream. Please feel free to comment and say, how's it? I'd love to hear from you. And if you say, how's it, I'll share your name and your comment on screen. So please feel free to do that. Next, I want to talk about 3 P's of success. I mentioned purpose earlier, but you need to identify something that you are passionate about. Why is passion important? That brings me back to the topic of this evening is taking control or taking ownership. Your purpose needs to be personal, and it needs to be something that inspires you to go through the tough times. Because believe me, times will get tough when you start fighting and growing towards your purpose instead of just going through the motions of life. Your passion will keep you inspired and keep you motivated. By the way, motivation, inspiration, and discipline also tie in very closely with each other. Jocko Willink, the writer of Extreme Ownership, says that you shouldn't count on motivation to keep you going out and getting stuff done. Motivation won't last and motivation will fade. Jocko Willink goes on to say that you should count on discipline because discipline, coupled with passion and purpose, will take you the extra mile and it'll keep you going. Motivation will get you going, but discipline will keep you going. And the passion is what keeps you going back to the things that are tough to overcome. The second P of success is people. I recently finished the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And in that book, he talks about hard work. He talks about different opportunities that people got to be able to become outliers and obviously the skills and the talent that they had. But no person that we look at and consider outliers did it by themselves. They had the help of people along the way. There is no such thing as a self-made man. A self-made man had opportunities along the way. Even though they might claim to be a self-made man, there's no way they could have reached the top of their industry or the top of their niche by themselves. They have to have had help from people along the way, whether it be given opportunities, whether it be getting scholarships, whether it be being partners in a business or having people work for them. People comes first. You cannot build a healthy, happy, wealthy life without quality relationships in your life. And then the third P of success is persistence. Persistence, persistence, persistence. And I want to stress that, I almost cannot stress that enough. Persistence is the thing that brings you through and over the obstacles in your life. You cannot have success without going through the hard miles. It is a prerequisite. So the 3 P's of success is passion, people, and persistence. But where do you start? What do you start doing once you have an idea of I want to start this online business, or I want to start this consulting business, or I want to start this sideline hustle. Where do you start? You start with the 6 P's of business. That is plan. So you need to have a plan. You need to do some planning to be able to determine what it is the world needs, what it is you are good at, what it is you can get paid for, and what it is that you love doing. So planning. Then you obviously need a product, whether it be a service or a consulting service or whatever the case may be, but you need a product. Then you need to determine what the price for that product will be. Once you have determined those 3 things, then you need to start keeping paperwork of what you are doing, where you are doing it, and you need to understand the process of producing the product, bringing that product to market, improving the product, and delivering the product. The next thing is the process. You need to understand the process. You need to improve the process, the paperwork, and then obviously you need to promote your business and or your product. You need to find your customers. To do that, you need to know who your customers are, and that brings you to identifying avatars. That's a completely different topic. The bottom line is that you need to start taking action. All the planning, all the paperwork, all the process understanding in all of these things is all good and well, but you need to start taking action. Without action, there can be no results, and you will keep on getting the same results as you did in the past. Take ownership. Take ownership of your results, take ownership of your choices, and take ownership of your habits. That is the only way you will be able to make a difference in the results of your life, of your business, of your finances, of your quality relationships, and of your health. I want to end off by encouraging everybody to educate yourself. Like you saw, I read The Extreme Ownership. Some of the other recent books I've been reading or have finished is this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. It goes into simple principles of building wealth. The first of which is to keep a portion of the income you take home for yourself. And take note, I say a portion of. Not all the money that comes to you, that you take home is yours, because you need to pay other people to rent or pay for your house. You need to pay for electricity. You need to pay for the bills. So not all the money you earn is yours to keep. But to be able to build wealth, you have to keep at least 10% of your take-home pay. Now, if you are in the same situation I was a couple of years ago, my money flows out faster than, or used to flow out. Let me use the right language. Used to flow out faster than I could bring it in. And the only reason you improve that is by keeping a portion of what you take home. Spend less than you earn is the principle, and keep at least 10% to be able to invest that money and put your money to work. The next book I want to promote, or something that I found a lot of value from, is The Wealth Chef by Ann Wilson. Ann Wilson goes into the finer details and is comparable to Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And in this book, Ann Wilson, The Wealth Chef, talks about assets and liabilities and the flow of money. And she likens it or compares it to cooking in the kitchen and using different recipes and different ingredients to get different meals set out on the table. Then the book I'm currently reading is Limitless by Jim Quick. And this book is a game changer. I'm telling you, if you haven't read this book and you haven't heard about Jim Quick, go check it out. Jim Quick, as in Kwik. Thank you, guys and ladies, for joining this live stream. It will be available. The link will be live still. And I see the Frugal Rhino has one more thing to say before we go. I just recommended a couple of books, and I suggest you go check it out. I only use Audible, and I buy the books that are most valuable to me to be able to make notes and go through them in black and white after I listen to them on Audible. So I use Audible and I buy all the books I listen to on Audible. And then after I find value from a book, I go buy the book so that I can make notes and highlight important things. So there are a lot of books, and I just suggested a couple. If finances is your biggest thing, I suggest you go start with these two. Start with The Richest Man in Babylon and then The Wealth Chef to get a good understanding of the flow of money and the principles of money. After that, get the book Limitless by Jim Quick, The Richest Man of Babylon, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and there are a few others. Think and Grow Rich is something that will work on your mindset about money. And yeah, those are the ones I would suggest. Thank you very much, guys and girls, for joining this evening. I really enjoyed having you. I really enjoyed doing this video. Come back in 2 weeks' time for this live stream and check out the channel, the rest of the channel, for videos on investing, creating multiple streams of income, personal growth, because maybe that's the topic for next live stream, is your personal growth, because your results cannot outgrow your identity. So check that out, and I'll see you on the next live stream. Thanks a lot. Take care. Be blessed. I'll catch you on the flip side. Cheers.